Welcome to Japan.
You've just spent the last 8, 10, 14 hours on a plane to get to Japan. You're on the ground. Wait, that's my last video. A lot of things have changed since that last video, and I'm here to take you around Haneda Airport and show you what those things are. Things like IC cards, Pasmo, Suica, Wi-Fi, cash, all kinds of things are new. So stick with me, and I'm going to show you the latest information on arriving in Japan. Let's go. If you've never been to Japan, just the thought of arriving in this unique country with its very different language and culture can be incredibly intimidating. But in this video, I'm going to give you the latest information and insider tips that will guarantee your arrival into Japan will be a lot less stressful. We're going to cover a lot of information in this video to eliminate all your fears and anxieties about arriving in Japan and make everything as smooth as possible. So grab your notepads and let's get started. Unless you're flying into Japan from someplace like the Philippines, Korea, or Guam, you'll probably be on your flight for a very long time and coming from a very different time zone. So the first thing I'd suggest is to do your best to start acclimating yourself to Japan's time zone as soon as possible, but at least 24 hours before you arrive. If you can get your internal clock aligned before you arrive, you'll already be one step ahead of the game and ready to begin your Japan adventure from the moment you step out of the airport, without having to play catch-up with your sleep or deal with exhausting jet lag. In your planning, you've probably considered things like cash, currency, Wi-Fi and internet, transportation arrangements, IC cards like Suica and Pasmo, luggage forwarding, and much more. We're going to cover all of these things, but there's nothing like experiencing it firsthand. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you a firsthand POV experience of what you can expect right out of the gate. The first things I'm going to cover in this video are a few apps you should get familiar with before you arrive in Japan. These will make your travel much easier when it comes to language translation as well as navigating the country. The first two apps that people usually think of are Google Maps and Google Translate. However, these may not be the best options for you, and you need to know that there are other options. First, let's look at language translation. While many touristy places within the big cities will speak some foreign languages, you'll almost certainly come across a situation where you'll experience what I call a communication challenge. And when this happens, you don't want to blow it like this guy.
こんにちは。私はリコです。あなたはとっても可愛いです。そして髪の毛も嫌いです。
Many Japanese words sound similar, so this is why you need to arm yourself with a translation app that works best for your needs. Google Translate is okay, but most Japanese will tell you that these translations sound strange. The apps that I found work best for my day-to-day real-time voice translations are Papago and DeepL. These both allow you or the other party to say what you want, and it's immediately played back in the translated language. While Google Translate can also do this, Papago and DeepL offer a much more natural translation. I do, however, prefer Google Translate for its instantaneous camera translations. If there's something in writing like a menu or a street sign, for example, Google will use your camera to translate it into your language in real time. The final translation tool I'll suggest is probably the best and most natural translation I've found. ChatGPT does an outstanding job of translating into very natural and native sounding Japanese. Just open and tell it to translate to Japanese. Translate to Japanese.
Sure, what would you like me to translate into Japanese?
Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Discovering Japan provides timely and relevant videos and information about Japan to make your trip a huge success.
この動画にいいねを押してチャンネル登録をお願いします。ディスカバリングジャパンは日本に関するタイムリーで役立つ情報を提供し、あなたの旅行を大成功に導きます。
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you need anything else, just let me know.
As you can see, ChatGPT is very easy to use. And if you're looking for a natural translation, ChatGPT beats the competition hands down. I'll put links to all these options below. As far as getting around the country and navigation, there are many apps to choose from. In my previous video, I named and used several, but I've come to rely on one app almost exclusively. I've found that Google Maps actually does the best job for my navigation needs because it seamlessly switches navigation modes from walking to train, bus, driving, or even biking. For example, if I find myself deep in the back streets of Sagamihara and I just want to go back to my hotel in Tokyo, I just enter the name of my hotel into Google Maps and ask it for directions. Maps will then display multiple options for getting there, including how long it'll take and how much it'll cost. Just choose the option that works best for you. When your route opens up, just click on Live View and Maps will magically use your camera to guide you step by step to the nearest train station. Easy, right? When driving, Google Maps does a decent job, but it can also take you on some very narrow back streets if it detects that the main streets are congested. This isn't a problem, but just realize that the streets may be very narrow and you'll need to take your time and use caution. Since these streets are so narrow, they'll likely have mirrors at every intersection to help you check around corners for traffic and bicycles. But be sure to use them, because bicycles and motorcycles are notorious for blowing through these intersections. So here's your homework. Download these apps and play around with them to get familiar with them before you arrive in Japan. The last thing you want is to be struggling with how to use an app when you just want to go and enjoy Japan. Again, I'll put links to the ones I recommend in the description below. Alright, let's move on to what you're going to need to know when you actually arrive in Japan. Once you arrive, you obviously need to collect your baggage and go through security and customs. This is a pretty standard process, and since it's in a secure area, I won't be covering it in this video. Also, a quick Google search for Japan Airport Security and Customs should provide you with a host of information. Okay, so you've got your bags, you've processed security and customs, you've stepped into the main terminal. Now what? You obviously need Japanese yen, you need your phone set up for Wi-Fi and internet, and you need transportation to your hotel, as well as for the remainder of your stay in Japan. And instead of trying to lug your heavy bags with you on a train or bus, you may also want to look into having your luggage forwarded to your hotel or even another city in Japan through one of Japan's luggage forwarding services. Fortunately, true to Japanese fashion, they've made this a very simple process and can be handled right in the arrival terminal of the airport. This video was shot at Haneda, and the area I'm in is just to the right of the exit from the airport security. Narita, or any other airport you fly into, has very similar areas where you can get everything set up. At the far end of the arrival terminal, you'll find several luggage delivery services. These services will take your bags and deliver them directly to your hotel or even another city in Japan. These companies are extremely reliable and can often guarantee convenient, same-day service if you drop off before 4 p.m. But verify this with each provider. The cost for this service will vary depending upon the size and weight of your bag and where you're sending it, but generally it costs between 1,500 and 3,000 yen per shipment. This is a very convenient and reasonable service if you don't want to carry heavy bags on the train, or if you just want to begin exploring Japan immediately after leaving the airport without the burden of lugging heavy bags around while sightseeing. Next, let's talk about Wi-Fi and internet connections. Some foreign cell phone carriers will allow you to roam in Japan using your current plan for an additional fee. But check with your provider to see if they offer any such service and how much they'll charge for roaming. If your provider doesn't offer roaming in Japan, you're going to need to find a way to stay connected. In my previous video, I recommended a couple of services to get you set up right in the airport terminal. These services are certainly still available, but recently easier and cheaper options have become available that you can set up before you even leave home. For my international travels, I've been using an eSIM from a company called Aralo. It's very easy to use and can be done even before you leave home. Just download the Aralo app or go to their website and purchase an eSIM for Japan. But make sure your phone is eSIM compatible. Select how much data you want and for how long you need it. Pay, and you're done. Aralo will immediately send you an email to help you install your eSIM and complete your setup. The eSIM won't begin using your data until you arrive in Japan and connect to a Japanese cell carrier. It couldn't be easier. Hey guys, before we move on to our next topic, if you're finding this video at all helpful, please take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. This will help trigger the YouTube algorithm and help us continue to make quality content and help you discover Japan. Alright, moving on. So you've got your Wi-Fi and luggage taken care of. Now let's get some Japanese yen. It's just my personal recommendation not to get yen before arriving in Japan, since you won't need it until you get here, and you'll likely get a better exchange rate here in Japan. Your first thought might be to go to the currency exchange counter, which is right outside the security and customs exit, but my suggestion is don't. Instead, use your debit card at one of the ATMs right next to the exchange counter. Yes, you'll probably pay a processing fee, but this still comes out to be a better exchange rate than using the exchange counter. Some people disagree with me, but after living in Japan for several years, I still feel this is the best way to exchange currency. ATMs are located at every convenience store in Japan, which are everywhere, so you can exchange what you need when you need it at a real-time exchange rate. Just a few years ago, Japan was a very cash-based society. This is still somewhat true, and you should always carry some cash, but most larger stores and restaurants do accept credit cards. If you can pay by credit card and you're responsible with your credit debt, this is by far the best way to pay for things. You'll get a real-time exchange rate and you'll collect your credit card points, mileage, and other benefits. Another tip on using your credit or debit card while traveling in Japan is to be sure and notify your bank and credit card company that you'll be traveling abroad. This will prevent any security freezes to your account when your bank begins to detect new international charges. Alright, you're almost ready to leave the airport and see Japan, but you need to know how you're getting to your next destination. Are you taking a shuttle bus, train, or renting a car? Both Haneda and Narita offer limousine shuttle bus services into parts of Tokyo and the surrounding areas. Again, this service is located in the main terminals of the airports and can't be missed. You can get more information and even schedule your shuttle ahead of time by visiting their websites. If you've decided to rent a car, you can pick it up at the same location as the shuttle bus and limousine ticketing. I've had a lot of people ask me about taking a taxi from the airport to their hotel. I highly advise against this. Taxis are very expensive in Japan and could cost you up to 40,000 yen. There's just one more method of transportation that we'll discuss in this video, and it's the one you'll likely be using the most: the Japan Rail System. At first glance, the rail, subway, and Shinkansen systems can be very intimidating. But set your anxieties aside and arm yourself with a couple of apps and information, and you'll be just fine. A lot of people ask me about Japan Rail Passes and which is the best. Well, in 2023, the cost of using a rail pass jumped significantly, and it's my opinion that unless you're going to be doing daily long-haul train travel around Japan and or using JR buses and hotels, the cost just may not be worth it to you, and regular Shinkansen tickets may be a wiser option for you. In the end, this is just something you'll need to spend some time researching for yourself to see what option works best for your specific needs. If you are planning to purchase a rail pass, just remember that this needs to be done before you leave your home country. and the clock will start ticking on your pass when you first use it. Since you'll likely be using the train for most of your transportation around Japan, you'll want to get a Pasmo or Suica card. This is different from a rail pass, which has a time limit and can only be used for certain trains. The Pasmo or Suica card can be used for commuter trains, buses, vending machines, and can also be used at most convenience stores. Simply purchase the card for 500 yen and charge it up as often as you like with any of the ticketing machines at any station. You can also download the Pasmo or Suica apps to your phone. However, this option is not available on many foreign phones because they cannot connect to the Japanese payment app called Osaifu Keitai, which means phone wallet. But feel free to give it a try. See if it works on your phone. First, some basic information about IC cards. Each person will require their own separate IC card or app, and child cards are available for children up to 12 years old with proof of age. You can get more information on each card by checking on the links below. Also, many people ask, what's the difference between Pasmo and Suica? Well, the simple answer is
absolutely nothing.
that's right. There's really no benefit to having one IC card over the other when it comes to traveling around Japan. Just whichever line is shorter when you go to buy your card. I personally have a Pasmo card, and I've used it for travel and many other things all over Japan without any issues. So how do you get your Pasmo or Suica card? Simply walk up to any of the ticketing kiosks in the terminal with the yen you just got from the ATM. For now, these machines only accept cash, but this could change in the future. Select your language. Select the card you want to purchase. Select the option to purchase a new card. After this, select the option to put a name on your card. At the time this video was shot, I could purchase a card with no name, but that recently changed. Finally, select how much you want to put on your card. I recommend starting with at least 3,000 yen. You can always add more later, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Insert your cash and wait for the machine to print your new card and give you your change. And voila! It's that easy. You're now ready to get out of the airport and get on your first train. When you want to check or add funds to your balance, just go to any ticketing machine and again, select your language, select charge or add value, insert your card. From here, you can see the amount on your card. You could also choose to add more funds from the options listed. If you're just checking your balance, select cancel and your card will be returned to you. Again, super easy. Alright, we finally got everything we need. Let's get out of the airport. Today, we're going from Haneda Airport straight to Shibuya Scramble. So let's use Google Maps to find the best way to get there. First, we'll type in our destination, Shibuya Scramble. Then click on Directions, and Google Maps will pull up several options that will vary in time and cost. Today, I'm choosing the fastest and cheapest route, using the Keikyu line. Google Maps shows that it will take 46 minutes and cost 505 yen per traveler. When I open this route, it further tells me that I'll take the Airport Rapid Limited Express train from Haneda's Terminal 3 station, which is right at the International Terminal. The train departs at 1:07 and will arrive in Shinagawa at 1:18 and change to the JR Yamanote line. It further tells us to go to Platform 3 and I'll catch the 126 train which arrives at Shibuya at 1:39. I'm satisfied with this route, so I'll just click Start and follow the directions. Okay, so let's head to the Keikyu line gate and catch the 1:07 train for Shinagawa. Japan's signage is usually very good, so just follow the signs. And if you ever have any questions, train station staff are always ready to offer friendly assistance. And right on time, our train arrives to take us to Shinagawa. This train isn't very crowded, but during busy commute times, it may be very difficult to travel with large baggage. For this reason, I recommend packing light, but using limousine buses or luggage forwarding could also be a better option for you. During your train ride, pay attention to the announcements so you don't miss your stop. Okay, we've arrived at Shinagawa Station and need to transfer to the JR Yamanote line. Another quick check of Google Maps reminds us that we need to go to the JR Yamanote, Platform 3. So again, just follow the signs. If you follow the signs, you'll be just fine. And if you do have any trouble, just find a ticketing gate and someone will be happy to assist you. Or, if you're feeling friendly, just ask a local for assistance with your translation app. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how willing they are to assist. Okay, we've arrived at Platform 3 for our transfer to Shibuya Station. I think you've got the hang of this now. It's actually very easy, so stop worrying. You've got this. Before you know it, you'll be using the trains like a local. As we get off the train at Shibuya Station, Google Maps reminds us to follow the signs for the Hachiko exit. So again, just follow the signs. And just like that, you'll be at your final destination. Congratulations, guys. You made it. Welcome to Japan, guys. I hope this video helped in taking away some of your anxieties about arriving in Japan. If so, don't forget to hit that like button so we can continue to make great content that helps you discover Japan.
Welcome to Japan! Welcome to Japan! Welcome to Japan! Thank you very much!